I know sometimes these streams are hit or miss, so if you let me know how the quality is, I can try to move to another spot. But hello Ari, hello Kingdom of Prakal. It's great to see you guys. I see we have 4 viewers, and right now we are at nearly 1,300 watch time hours. We were at 3,700 the other day. It dropped by like a few because I think we went past a big stream from last year. So now we're at like 3691. If we can keep going, we will be hitting 4,000 soon. So we're gonna keep this live stream going to see if we can do that. But Grand Fairway, it's good to see you. Ari, again, always good to see you guys. Make sure to like so that we can get the stream up bigger and better. And today we're talking about our projects. There have been a ton of projects that you've heard me talk about on this channel for years, and that we have done a different fractional amounts on. Some of them we finished, some of them we haven't. So I want to continue talking about the upgrades and expansions that we've been doing on those. First off, most recently, if you have seen some of our newer edited videos, you've probably seen our solar power video that we did. We were talking about designing and building a large solar power system to power Vitae's emergency backup power. So Vitae, of course, will have power directly from the grid for a certain amount of time because we can't afford reasonably to expand our solar system on no money, 100% for free, to a point where we could get to run all of Vitae's power needs. But we can set up for emergency power, and that's what's going to be our plan for the meantime. So we will still have a pretty big setup right now. Torrance put in quotes free. What's up, Torrance? It's good to see you. Yes, actually, we got all of this 100% for free, and I'll explain exactly how. So we got all of these batteries were completely dead, unusable. So what a dead battery is, Torrance says, AP, those are big batteries. They are big batteries. Thank you. They are lead acid batteries. Before lithium ion batteries came out, this is the way that solar power systems used to store energy. And so you can get a significant amount of energy from them. Some of them are car batteries. Some of them are smaller, like, some of them are like lawnmower batteries. Some of them are big, like this boy, which is a deep cycle boat battery. So we have a decent number of batteries, and they are going to be used to power, they're all 12 volts, so we'll be able to hook them together to make one big battery bank. And they are going to be able to store and run power for our solar system. Now we have 2 solar panels, one of them, 3 solar panels actually. One of them is quite large. It's a solar panel that was actually purchased by Tiffany's family, ended up not being used and was given to me to use for this purpose. So I'm using it for this purpose. That's going to be something really nice. As well, they had a smaller one, one that's, I'll get to show you guys it a little bit later, but about a quarter of the size maybe of the big one. That also gets a little bit. It's also going to be something that outputs, both of those output between like 20 to like 15, 16 volts on the low end, to 20 volts on the high end. So we're going to get to use all of that to put together. And then we have our own homemade, home-built solar panel that we made using very tiny solar panels that you get off of the garden lights that I'll show you in a little while. We collected up a whole bunch of dead garden lights, salvaged the solar cells off of them that run like one little LED, strung them together and made a solid like 12 to 18 volt solar panel. Excuse me for the barking, guys. We're right next to some dogs. But I just wanted to show you guys this big system. We have some of these that are fully charged. So let me show you a few of them, and some of them that are completely dead. So we get our battery system out here. Ba-ba-ba. Look at that guy. Okay, so that is our multimeter. It's reading on DC, and I'm just going to go ahead and measure a couple of these batteries here. So let me, oh goodness, let me figure out how I can prop this up. Let me know if you guys can see all right. So I'm connecting like that. Connecting just like that. And then I'm going to have to move the camera away so you guys can see the actual reading that it's giving me. But whenever I connect that up properly, you will see we end up getting off of that battery 9 volts. Oh, sorry guys. Let me set it up this way. Getting da 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 da. Where are we at? Oh, I dropped my other lead. We're getting about 9.5 volts off of that. So for the conventional use for that battery, people would say that battery is completely dead. It is unusable. I'm trying to get it to where the glare doesn't mess with it. About a little over 9.5 volts. People would say that's a completely dead, unusable battery. For starting your car, it is an unusable battery. However, for powering for using our solar panel, we can charge that back up to over 12 volts. A fully charged battery should be at a little over 13 volts. And so that's what we are going to be doing, is charging these batteries up to a little bit over 13 volts using a solar cell. So we've actually done that with some of these. Again, a lot of these batteries being considered dead. We're moving on to the next one. If we measure this one, we get, almost 10 volts, 10.85, 10.8 something volts. So that's another good one. We continue moving on. Some of these are a little bit lower. Let's see if we can connect to this one properly. Let's see. Okay, this one's at 12.33 volts. So this is one that we charged not too long ago with our, let's see there. Yep, 12.32 volts. A little bit hard to see. But these are some that we have actively charged with our solar panel. Some of them, you will notice, are very, very dead. Like, let's look at this one. We're going to connect to this little guy right here. So if we hook up to there, you can go positive to positive, negative to negative, we should get a very small voltage. Let's find out what we get. And less than a volt, right? So very small, very weak. And again, people would say, you're going to completely throw that away. That's a garbage battery. You don't want to use that. However, the only thing that we really need to spend money on for getting these batteries up to snuff is to be able to improve their electrolyte. So batteries have their plates and their electrolyte, which are going to be the thing that transfers ions, which stores the electrical energy. So that being the case, if you know that, you would know all you have to do to improve that, let me flip around, all you have to do to improve that is to charge that electrolyte again. So we're going to replace that electrolyte on some of those batteries that are very dead. We're going to replace the electrolyte. It's sulfuric, I believe it's sulfuric. Yeah, it's not hydrochloric. I believe it's sulfuric acid. So we're going to have to replace the sulfuric acid in a lot of these batteries to be able to get them to fully charge. The ones that are at like half a volt, fraction of a volt, we're going to replace that sulfuric acid. And that's the only thing that'll cost us money in that. So the rest of these, each of these batteries, you know, even these small ones right here, these small batteries, brand new, are probably like $80 to $90. These larger batteries, you know, something like this that might start your car, you'd be looking at $120, $130. These may be in the 200s, and then this thing would be, you know, $300, $400. So significant cost for these batteries, but they have a very large energy density. So not as high as lithium ion, of course, but these things can do a significant amount of power storage. And for the cost of a little bit of sulfuric acid that we'll be buying, again, not right now, but in the future, that's a good amount of power. And those are batteries which, again, for people's main purpose in doing things with, you know, charging, running their cars, you know, running their lawnmowers, things like that, you're not going to waste your time trying to repair and fix all of these batteries 90% of the time. So for a lot of people, these are unusable, and they gave them to us because of that. But that doesn't mean these batteries are unusable to us. So we repurpose the batteries, we fix them up, and we make them usable. For a lot of these batteries, we were given them, and again, they were at like 8, 9 volts when we got them, which is unusable for the purpose of powering your car, your starter, and your engine. But regardless of that, it is still perfectly fine for being able to charge up and restore it back to 12 volts, so long as you have the proper charger to do so. If you tried to plug this into a traditional standard battery charger, you would have a lot of issues doing that, because the battery charger looks for it to be at around 12 volts, at the low end, at the dead end, maybe 11 and a half, 12.1, something like that, and then we'll charge it back up to 13. However, these being at 8, 9 volts, we'll say, oh, it's completely dead. But if you connect it up to something that is slower to charge, such as a solar panel that'll just give it a few milliamps at a time, you can get that thing to charge all the way back up to 12 and a half volts, which is plenty for our purposes. That can be used to run uh, oh my goodness, I'm going to blank on the term. That can be used to run an inverter. That can be used to run an inverter, and that inverter will switch the power from 12 volts DC to 120 volts AC, which is what you get out of your house, or 240 volts if you're in Europe, or maybe 220 if you're in Europe, and that will allow you to get the regular voltage that you would get out of your house. So that AC voltage. So that being the case, this is a potential for us to make a very easily usable electricity source and power generation source from small solar panels and a lot of batteries that will store a lot of energy over time for emergency power. Again, we're not going to be running, blenders and washing machines and hair dryers and really, really intensive, electrically intensive devices off of it. But nonetheless, this will still offer us some significant opportunity. So that's the stage that we're at right now. We have charged up some of these batteries. We have used our solar panel to charge those and prove that that's worked. On top of that, we are now moving toward trying to, excuse me, I'm going to flip our camera real quick so I can continue to talk to you guys. We are going to be now moving to actually taking those batteries that we've been charging up and connecting them to an inverter. I'll be designing a rough inverter so that we can convert to 120 volts. I've already built the transformer for it, which is actually going to step it up. Now I just have to build some electronics that are going to switch the voltage to get us to that 120 volts. Once I do that, though, we will have a rough inverter built. That rough inverter will allow us to get that power and start working with it. There will be only certain devices that we can use to get that 120 volts. So for example, we can probably power things like light bulbs, things like fans, things that really don't require what they call a pure sine wave. But for other more complicated devices, sensitive electronics, like for example your phone or computer, you would want a pure sine wave inverter. And that's something that's really complicated to build, requires a lot of expensive electronics, and can be dangerous if you mess it up. So we'll probably have to just bite the bullet and actually purchase that one. That being the case, let me show you these solar panels. So we've got our big boy right here. This guy produces a lot. That's our main guy, and again, that's a commercially manufactured one. This is another smaller commercially manufactured one, about a fourth of the size. And then, I don't have it out here with me, but we have our baby one. Our baby one is really cute. It's one that I built. It's roughly this size, and it's just maybe a little bit bigger than this, but it's made just out of the solar cells that come out of those little LED, solar-powered LED garden lights. So, that being the case, we have a lot to work with. We have a lot of opportunity to be able to continue and develop and build these systems over time. And what's nice about that is that allows us to move forward and continue to build bigger and better things. So, okay, you've heard about the solar system. AP, that's something that we've heard just a little bit about, and okay, you've been talking about that for a minute. What about other stuff? What about your arc furnace? You've been working on an arc furnace for a long time. What's been going on with the metal refining industry? Well, for a big part of it, we donated our small arc furnace, our metal refining furnace, to David, who has been helping us to refine metal with it. He's actually been producing some pretty nice ingots for us, and we've actually shown those off on our Instagram. But that being the case, we are trying to upgrade and do some more stuff. So we promised a large-scale metal refinery within the next couple years, and we are delivering on that promise. One of the first things that we had to do is get a huge transformer that you guys have seen on some of our other streams, and actually start to take it apart. There was a stream we did maybe a month ago where we were actually, Tiffany and I, taking apart a transformer. And we told you that that was a big part of that metal refining industry and a big part of the next steps to that project. And I am proud to announce, bada boom, we have officially taken it apart. So this was a huge, 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 huge transformer. This thing is hundreds of pounds of steel. I mean, very, very heavy. And you see all those metal plates. We had to one by one individually take those out and separate them from these plates. Now we're going to have to put some adhesive on them, bind them back together to rebuild this core. Once we do that, we have now taken out these copper windings, which we're going to rewind to our specifications for the transformer we're making. And once we do that and put all of that back together, we will have a huge arc furnace. This thing is going to be absolutely massive. It'll run a ton of power, much more than we can get off of our solar setup, but certainly plenty for our for the mains electricity we will have set up in Vitae, and we will be able to melt no longer ounces of metal, no longer individual ingots, but huge pounds of metal at a time. This is going to be a beast of a machine, and this is something that is one of Aeternia's largest projects by far. So you can see we still have a lot of work to do. Again, we've taken these big, heavy copper windings off. That's certainly going to be nice to be able to rewind it with. Certainly a good amount of money there. And of course, this big, thick core, which is going to be able to handle a lot of electricity. So, good things to come, and of course, a huge advantage for us as far as upgrading our technology and expanding our industries. But this is a very long time commitment. Of course, you can see some other little odds and ends we have associated with this, such as this big, huge circuit breaker here, 150 amp circuit breaker that we are going to be using for part of this. But we have an absolutely massive transformer here. Again, talking about our solar setup, that solar setup stuff got all 100% for free. The batteries were given to us by friends and families of Tiffany's, who again just had like batteries that were laying around. Her family has some mechanics in them. In her family, so they had a ton of batteries laying around that were just dead, that they should have thrown out but didn't, and were just kind of going to waste in their yard. So we took them, cleaned them up, started charging with our solar panels, and that's what we got. Now we also have this other similar thing. My connection to in college, and all of the smart and wonderful people I met there, some people were throwing out this huge, massive transformer that had gone to a laser system, an old-timey laser system. So this is an absolutely incredible thing that we were able to get, and we got it 100% for free because they were throwing it out. It was absolutely a huge debacle to try and move this thing because it was heavy. But this is a big deal. So we were able to take this transformer, take it apart, and are now stuck with the windings separated out. We're going to be putting them back on. We're going to be putting all those metal sheets back in, those laminated steel sheets, to complete the transformer core again, rewind these windings, put them back on, and we will have a huge metal melting arc furnace, again, that can produce pounds of metal instead of the little ounces that we were dealing with. So, that being the case, real quick, Torrance jumped in and he said, APM back, give me a quick rundown of how you're using old batteries. So we're going to be taking those old batteries, as I said, we're charging them up with solar panels, and then we are using those old batteries in our solar power storage system. So again, the batteries, so long as we can get them up to 12 volts, we can use an inverter, which we're building next. We already have the transformer for it. Not this transformer, but another transformer for it that I wound myself. We're going to be using an inverter to create 120 volts. So that should be the next video that you see come out on our solar power system for Vitae. We are going to be, again, taking those old batteries that were, by most standards for most people's uses running their cars, considered to be completely dead. We were going to charge them up with a solar panel to get them up to like 12 volts. We're then going to try to plug them in to a regular battery charger, see if we can't get them up to 13. The solar panel might get them up to 13 as well, and that'll be a completely green way to do it, so we don't actually have to connect to the power grid. Once all that's said and done, we can use them and cook them up in parallel to actually create a huge battery store, huge like mega battery essentially, a huge storage system, electrical storage system for running emergency power in Vitae. So again, this isn't going to be using something that we're using every day. This will be something that, for example, before we have conventional electrical power from the grid out there, we can use to run simple lights or maybe a power drill or two, charge batteries and things like that to run our power drills and equipment and stuff. And so uh, that will be the basic setup for our emergency power out there. Once we get actual electrical power out there, then that will become our emergency grid. So if for whatever reason the power goes out in Vitae, we will be continuing to expand this grid, and at a certain point we will feel comfortable that, if all of a sudden we get caught in the middle of a tornado or something like that, or, the power grid shuts down and stops working, we still have the ability to heat our homes, take care of our people, light our entrances and stuff like that, without worry that we're going to be caught helpless, be able to continue to run our operations for our economy and things like that to some degree. Again, emergency power, so not as much as we would be able to, but still quite a decent amount. First off, we have multiple people here. I'm not sure if everybody's still here because we dropped down to 3 viewers, but I appreciate you guys hanging out. And again, if you can like the video, it does help a lot because I'm trying to explain these projects to you guys, let you guys know what I've been up to and how I'm doing things for Aeternia, and again, how I'm doing things basically for free. A lot of this stuff we're just getting for free. Any future investments that we do for these will be only to make them better and to improve them for our nation. So they're not really things that need to be done. You can do all of this 100% for free. It just takes extra manpower, extra research to try and figure out how to do things that otherwise you would just, buy a quick fix for. So some of them we will end up purchasing some quick fixes for to improve them, make them a little bit better. Some of them we're going to be doing 100% for free. Sabotat, it's good to see you. Sabotat said, I actually prepared a public speech because Sabotat's Independence Day is coming up. Hey, congrats! Because today is Sabotat's Independence Day. Hey, congratulations, Sabotat, on your Independence Day. Benton Suez, I swear someone's phone near me is going off. Oh, goodness. What up, Benton? It's good to see you. He said, I always found it weird that different countries use different power plugs. 100%. It's because of their regulations and also the voltages that they deal with. Benton says, we have our own solar panels where I live and use them to power certain stuff when the electricity is out. That's exactly the plan that we have, and we're trying to move forward with it quickly. Again, I showed you guys earlier some of the solar panels that we have. We have that big boy one, we have a smaller one, and then it might be around here somewhere. No, I think it's in the room. I could show you the little baby one that we have, the one that I made out of these small little, the little ones from the, oh goodness, from the little outdoor lights. It's so cool, and I want to get more of those to continue to build our own solar panels. But each one of those, we can connect them together and again make a larger and larger solar generation system, which goes into those batteries, which is our solar power storage system, and then we can run all of that together to make a full-scale, essentially power station for us. Benton said, but only major computers? Absolutely. And that's something that's super important. Robert says, hello. Hey, Robert, it's good to see you. How are you doing? Torrance says, I'm AP and back. Give me a quick rundown of how you're using the old batteries. I think I already got to that one, Torrance, but if not, let me know. Robert says, something happened to my friend. Went to an abandoned apartment block and declared the free state of New Texas. Cool. Good luck to them. Torrance says AP's kind of smart. I appreciate it, Torrance. I just got my bachelor's in physics and I'm pursuing my master's now. So I am super excited about that. Hopefully it'll come in handy to continue to make upgrades for Aeternia. Soon I should be through my master's next 2.5 years, and then I will be pursuing my doctorate. So I'm super excited. Robert says he says growing food and getting water, he will try to develop the apartments. So his new Texas project is looking crazy. Hey, that's awesome. Congrats. Connor says hi. Hey, Connor, how you doing? It's always good to see you. And then fake name says some idiot is rebelling against my ally. Oh, interesting. How's that happening? Why is it happening? And how's it working out for him? Prakal says oof. Hey, what's up, Prakal? It's good to see you. Ari says, oh, that sucks, fake name. Try getting them blocked. Agreed. Torrance says, nice. I'm a two-time college dropout. That's all right. You know, I feel like college is a thing that sometimes people go into it. I've had a lot of friends who've done similar things, where they've gone into college, felt like that was the only way for them to go in and to succeed in life or whatever. And then they go in, they realize that it's not what they're looking for, and then they leave. And they end up doing better for it. So sometimes college is a learning experience, not because of the degree you get, but just because of the life experience you get, even if that life experience tells you that you shouldn't be in college. There are plenty of people who don't go to college and do just fine. There are plenty of people who go to college and do just fine. It's just based on what you feel like you need to know and if college is the right place to do that. If not, okay. If so, great. But either way, you carve your own path to success. There are plenty of people who go to college and never use their degree and struggle because now they're in debt. So definitely picking what you do in life, especially early on, is really, really important for your future. So think about that, plan that out, and yeah, Torrance, I think that's good for you. If going to college 2 times and dropping out made you realize what it is that you're most interested in and helped you to figure out a better path to move forward than the one that led you to college in the first place, congratulations, because it sounds like that did teach you something and helped you to improve your life. Sinklin says, hello, sorry for not getting here earlier. That's all right. Hello, Sinklin. It's good to see you. Also, I've seen you on TikTok. I like your TikToks. It's good to see you. Prakal said, AP, my server is at 189. Got any tips for growing faster? Because right now growth is slowing down. 189 is great. Like, what are you talking about? When I first started doing I'm gonna sound like a crotchety old man. When I first started doing Discord stuff, it took me like years to get to 189. Years, a year and a half, 2 years to get to 189. Right now we're at like maybe 400. Like, it's not even that crazy. You're at half of our stuff, so I would not sweat it at all. You're doing great. You're killing it. I would say focus on making that important, because you're saying growth is slowing down. So that may mean that people are leaving, or that may mean that people just aren't super active. I would say it's not about getting a ton of people in. It's about making people, finding ways to make people enjoy the time that they're there. If they're enjoying it, if they're actively participating, then that's going to mean that they're going to want to pull other people into it, and they're going to want to stick around longer. Raz says, how it's going. It's going good, Raz. How are you doing? Prince Sinclair says, I appreciate it. I try my hardest to pump out good TikToks. Agreed. So do we. And also, I've been trying to learn about it. So if you have any advice, I would definitely appreciate it. Also, if you want to like collaborate on TikTok at some point, let me know. Robert says, if you grow too quickly, you fall too quickly. 100%, Robert. That's well said. And I think that's something that we can all take a little advice on. We try to push and push and push, but if we're not creating good quality, then ultimately people see through that and they try to leave. So, and they end up leaving eventually. So it's important to absolutely work toward what you feel like your best goal is, develop that, try and achieve it. And then as you continue on, try to grow. Robert says, read my last message before the following one. Oh, sorry. Robert, what's your last message? Oh, his new Texas project is looking crazy. If you grow too quickly, you fall too quickly. Gotcha. So you were referring to the new Texas project specifically. Makes sense. Sinklin says, yeah, that'd be awesome. One tip I can give you is to follow other micronations. From my experience, I imagine he's going to say like it helps. It's all a connected community. They'll like your stuff quite often. Absolutely. And I appreciate that. That's definitely smart. I would say that's something that I always worried about though. Like, I don't know. I don't want to ingenuinely follow other micronations. Like, I feel like I've seen a ton of micronationalists do that. And it's not just micronationalists, it's people all over the internet. But they'll follow a ton of accounts, and then they'll not really keep up with those accounts, and they'll then, they'll have like a ratio that's really, really close to itself. Like, they'll be like, I have like 4,000 followers, but I follow like 3,867 people. And then it's like, yeah, okay, but like, do you really keep up with all those 3,000 people? Like, if you do, you're not spending your time on the internet. Like, you're just on everyone's stuff all the time. I feel like I'd rather like know who I like and like follow their stuff. And if I follow their stuff and I like it, then I'll like actually commit to the follow. And then I'll like start like watching their stuff and like liking it. But I don't want to like just follow someone because I see they're a micronation and then go like, oh, I'm never liking their stuff. Like I feel like a jerk because I followed them, but I'm not actively helping their growth. Uh, Singlin says that makes sense. I only follow micronations I know. I'll check up with, not ones that post every 6 years. LOL. But most micronationalists make decent content, so the bar is low. That makes sense, and that's smart. Fake name says, AP, play No Man's Sky. There are settlements you can manage, and if you unite with other players, you can form a star system spanning government. And if you get big enough, the devs will recognize you and your emblems and add your emblems to the game. That's very cool. I would love to see that. I would say I would love to play No Man's Sky. Um, uh, Tiffany's family has like a an Oculus. I would love to like do more stuff with that too. The problem is it's hard for me to stream games because the Wi-Fi isn't that great. But as well, it's just being in a rural area. Wi-Fi is expensive, and even the best Wi-Fi doesn't get you very much. So it's difficult. The other thing is that I've never tried to hook up to play PC. I've played PC games on stream. I've never played like VR games on stream. So I'd love to do it VR, but I would have difficulty trying to figure it out. That being the case, though, right now we're trying to develop stuff for Vitae in real life as much as possible. Connor says, you guys could pump spring water using a ram pump to Vitae if springs are nearby. Yes, I definitely know about ram pumps. And as well, just motor-driven hydroelectric energy. However, I would say that one, we don't really have a consistent spring. We have some runoff areas that will create a little creek from time to time, but that creek dries out every time it's not raining. So we could build a dam and then do it like that, but then we're messing with the local ecosystem and stuff like that. We're potentially flooding our land and reducing the amount of land we have available. It seems like if we're gonna do that, we might make something artificial that would just be like a water storage system that would then, as its outlet, have a motor-driven pump that would run electricity off of the gravity produced pressure that's generated. Torrance says, AP, I announced the first citizenship drive for Kingmania in July with no exact date determined. I was giving myself a deadline to get stuff done. How can I create high quality content? That's a great question, Torrance. I would say you can do that. Like I've seen plenty of micronationalists who like their whole thing is making good content and trying to put out good content. Um, Go for it if that's what you want. Like I think the thing that's weird is that a lot of people get lost in the sauce. I've seen plenty of micronationalists on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitter who create like solid content. Like all the time they're pumping out like really nice solid content. The problem is I don't think they're doing a ton with their nation. Like, as opposed to us, for the last couple years, we've been doing some like edited high quality content, and that content pops off a lot more than our other content for sure. But that doesn't mean that that content is actually doing a ton for Eternia other than getting it recognized a little bit more. What I think is much more important is to show that you're doing work on the ground, to show that there are projects that you're accomplishing, things that you're doing, ways that you're moving forward, even if that's not the most high quality content. Again, that's my opinion. There are ways to grow faster. If you're trying to like, pump out just high quality content after high quality content, like eye catching stuff, then yeah, you're going to grow a lot faster. But you're not, you're collecting all these people together and hyping them up and saying, we're starting a country, we're doing this crazy thing, it's awesome. But there's no punchline. There's no final delivery. When you've got everybody in line ready to go, you're either selling them something, you're saying like, okay, now buy a citizenship and help out and thanks. We're going to keep doing this crazy cool content, which isn't a bad thing. But you have all these people lined up and there's not actually like a full well-established country. And I can't say that there's a full well-established country in Eternia either. That's hubris. But I would say that in Eternia, the thing that we can guarantee is that we're actively moving toward that as quick as humanly possible. I think as quick as we probably could have reasonably done it, unless we just had the money beforehand. We purchased a piece of land through our community's support and through our own dedication to this cause. So we have the opportunity now for people to come and live in Vitae. Hopefully soon I'll be in a little bit of money so I can start to help to build those houses and developments for people so that they come live. Right now we're developing things to build and expand our industries. Right now we're investing in a lot of things that will help us, like monetization on YouTube, that will eventually get us a little bit more. But unless the thing is actively giving you like some way to directly grow your nation, I wouldn't be focused on the content that much. Content's important. Content's going to help you out. But what is it that your nation is in the first place? I think it is really, really important. And yeah, we've talked a ton about like you can create these documents like constitutions. Yeah, you can do these things like creating, this government hierarchy and these structures and these flags and these symbols and this culture. And you can do all of the things on paper. And you can show those things off through content really well on paper. But at the end of the day, if you are not able to say, this is the active community we have, I can say, Vincent helps us out. Vincent is an active community member who's my guy, who supports us, who helps us, who does stuff with us. I can say that people like Steven are my guy, helps us, grows with us, develops with us every single day. We have a ton of citizens who are actively doing stuff and helping us and building with us. They're people I can point to. They're people who will create content for us. They're people who will go out of their way. David has, I haven't put this video out yet, but David's been on the land with us. You know, David's one of our citizens who, again, huge ride or die. Richard Taylor, huge ride or die. These are people that like are here for us every single day. They're here in the watch time hours helping build them up. They're here physically, you know, sometimes to help us do stuff. They're here putting in their own hours, you know, making stuff for us, trying to create content. I feel like that's where it really comes from. That's where the things that get me excited as a micronationalist are. Yeah, I love to see cool content. I'll see, you know, people post something on like post something on Twitter that looks like really regal and formal, and they'll have like, you know, their leaders like full outfit or whatever, and they'll have like a decree that's like written in like this really beautiful typeset, and they'll have like these embroidered sides, and you know, it'll look so fancy and so cool, and it'll get a ton of likes. What did that do? You know, oh, it's an alliance with somebody. Oh, it's a, you know, it's a trade deal or whatever. Oh, that's cool. But I feel like it's not really hitting home. Like you see that 90% of the time on a nation, but in their social media, but you don't see a ton of substance following that. Like they seem like they're doing a ton, and they seem like they have this really, really high quality appearance, but that high quality appearance doesn't have much behind it. So I would say build up that much behind it, and build up that background that you want to see from a nation that you feel like would have a really fancy, regal outward appearance, and pursue that above anything else. Prakal says, Sinkland, I just made a TikTok account for Prakal. What's your TikTok? Raspberry says, what kind of drive? Raspberry, what do you mean, what kind of drive? Also, good to see you guys. And again, please like the video. It helps to spread it out and get more people in the stream. We're trying to get to 4,000 watch time hours, and right now we're at 3,000, 3,690 something. So if we can get to 4,000 pretty quick, if we can get like 24 watch time hours in this stream, which would just be, okay, 5 would be for 5 hours times 5 viewers. Right now we have 7 viewers. If we could get up to 10, we would just need to stream for like 2.5 hours. So that being the case, if we can keep pushing and keep going, if we had 25, that would take us 32, like 32 days to be able to reach watch time. Maybe even less than that. Let me see. Less than that, yeah. It wouldn't take us very long at all. A few weeks to reach watch time. So we can do it. It would be easy. It would be possible. And more so than that, it would help us to be able to move into making higher quality content to match the high quality culture and development we've been building. Robert says, I've been watching a lot of CGP Gray's old videos. Yeah, they're definitely good. I've watched the Rules for Rulers video. It's definitely cool. Connor says, you can get spring water from nearby and drink that. Again, we don't have spring water. Like we don't have a spring is the thing. It's not like we don't have a constantly running spring. Prakal says his videos are good. Absolutely. Raspberry says rainwater. Yes, that's what we're doing. Fake name says insulated underground houses need less energy to heat up and cool. Have you considered that, AP? That's literally what we're doing, fake name. If you have checked out most of our content on Vitae, if you've checked out our videos developing Vitae, that's what we're doing. We are creating Aeternian dwellings which are underground. If you've checked out some of the videos that we've been doing developing them, our plan for since the beginning has been to build underground dwellings. Absolutely. Raz says, or you could order tablets of clear water, a life straw, and basic survival stuff. Absolutely, but then that's money. We're trying to do it for as cheap as possible or free as possible. So yeah, eventually we do want to spend more money, but we don't want to spend more money than we're pulling in. So right now we need bigger ways to pull in money, which leads to monetization. Torrance says, I've gone as far as I can alone. I need help, so that's why I announced the citizenship drive. At the minimum, I need a good website to handle applications, but I thought about a brochure for physical distribution. Absolutely, and I think that's smart, but I think the problem as well is, like, you really got to be careful how you do that, because if you pull a lot of people in, again, from experience, if you pull a lot of people in and you say, okay, well, this is what we're doing, we're going to try to, make a micronation, we're pulling all these people in, people have limited time to commit. People, may be interested in you as an oddity or as something that they feel like can get them something in a really short period of time, and they'll come in and they'll like be really supportive and really enthusiastic, or they'll just be curious and be not sure exactly what you're doing, and then pretty quickly they'll fall off. If you start asking somebody to do something without like good incentive and a reward for them, they will very quickly drop off being able to help you. So that's not their fault at all. That's something they have to do. And as well, if you're not paying those people like with a salaried position or an hourly position, why would they work regularly like a job for you? So even if you're just trying to get people to volunteer, even if you're just trying to get people to help out every now and then, you really need to offer them some kind of incentive. Have something that's available to get them excited for it. Because no matter what the cause is, of course a good cause can help you a ton with rallying support. But at the same time, being able to say, well, we also have this, ability, no matter what the cause is, to provide you with this every time you help us, it will benefit a lot. Sinklin says, Kingdom of Percal is just Sinklin. Raspberry says, I'm debating on whether or not to make a channel for my nation. Torrance says, I'm going to have the Constitution draft complete. Raz says, distribution of what? Supplies, education, etc. Torrance says, physical distribute a brochure about citizenship and the micronation. Very cool. Robert says, New Texas Project has their first vote. My friend Jack is the rioter at Target. Remember him? He was nominated as Supreme Leader, father of reborn Texas, defender of faith, Oh, no, that's gross. Yo, Robert, that sounds like white supremacist stuff. That's horrible. He said defender of the Aryan state? That's disgusting. Robert, do you agree with that? Like, first off, tell your friend that's disgusting, because that's disgusting. And second off, if you agree with that, I'm not sure that I want you in the chat. Like, again, Robert, I don't know. You may not agree with that, but if you do agree with that, and that's your friend who's hyping the Aryan state, bro, get out of here. That's gross. That's so gross. Big Name says, nations are groups with a shared culture and tradition. A nation state is a recognized government. A micronation can be a real nation, just not a nation state. No, I think they can be both, actually, depending on how far you get in your development. Raz says, oh, okay. Robert says, and a bunch of other stuff. I'm really concerned about Robert out here. I hope Robert ain't pulling some white supremacist stuff. That's disgusting. Again, Robert, I'm not trying to pin it on you. You sounds like you're relaying for a friend, but I wouldn't support that friend at all. That's gross. Republic of Besorbia. Hey, it's good to see you. Besorbia, I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, so I appreciate a like if you're hanging out with us. Also, if you don't mind, and if you haven't already, I'd recommend subscribing, trying to help us out to get that 4,000 watch time hours, and also, a big deal, trying to help us get to 2,000. We're like really close. We're at 1,800 subs, 1,811, I think, as of today. So you guys could help us be well on our way to 1,000 subs. And also, 9 viewers. If we get a couple more likes in here, we could probably get 10, 11 viewers for the duration of this stream, which would help us get to that 25 watch time hour goal. Sinklin says, I'm slowly running out of ideas for Sinklin. That happens. It's really tough. Micronationalism is hard. You get burned out. We have videos talking about, we have live streams talking about micronational burnout, about mental health, about, how to, develop a state even when things are going slow, even when people aren't supporting you, even when things are on the decline. We have a ton of live streams all about that. So I would say, first off, if you haven't checked those out, to plug Eternia, I would check those out. We have one on, how to cure sick micronations, which is talking about like how micronations get into decline and stagnation. We also have one again talking about mental health. If you're stressing yourself out too much, if you feel like this is getting overwhelming, or in the future if you feel like it gets overwhelming, that's a huge thing to help. But as well, my best suggestion is to just think back to the root of why it is you started this and what it is that your ultimate goal is, and to create things around that. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a long time coming. Again, we've been pushing for getting on 4 years now, just on YouTube. 5 years getting into, excuse me, yeah, 5 years getting into 6 years, just creating the nation altogether. So it is a very hard thing to do. We're just getting to a point where we're starting to feel more comfortable moving forward and accelerating in the development of this nation. So do not give up at all. Continue to believe in yourself. Continue to do what you feel like you can. And if you feel like the community is just too much for you, if you do feel like you want to, give up and drop out of your nation, I would suggest joining another nation. Try everything you can before that. Try to do your best. If you feel like you stop having fun with it, if you feel like you're not enjoying it anymore, I'd recommend joining another nation if you still have the passion to pursue micronationalism, but I don't suggest you give up. I believe in you. Fake name says Vincent is Chad. Absolutely, Vincent's awesome. Sinklin says that's awesome, Bessaboria. Welcome to the micronational community. Absolutely. We're proud of you, Bessaboria. Fake name says BRB. Sinklin says I just finished my Declaration of Independence today. Congrats. Sinklin, that's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Raz says, congrats, Bessaboria. Torrance says, Bessaboria, how long is your constitution? Uh, Bessarabia. I was mispronouncing it the whole time. Robert says, what else is he elected as? Commander of the army, head tax collector, peacer of the keys, keeper of the peace, just all types of stuff. Connor says, yeah, we haven't started, lol. Basur Bessarabia says nice. Robert says Bessarabia nice. Bessarabia says Torrance Kingman 4 pages, 15 articles. That's interesting because that's not a huge constitution, and I think that's good. I would say try not to expand it too much. If you have to make edits, but try to make cuts in other places if you're going to add additions. Because I could read 4 pages. Once people's constitutions start to get to like 7, 8, 10 pages, I'm like, no. Raspberry says I have 15 too. Fake name says back. Hey, it's good to see you, Cusnaria. Connor says our Constitution has 5 articles. Very nice. Short and sweet is important. I really do feel like that. Especially Torrance was talking about like sending out pamphlets and stuff. If you can get your stuff to be like really easily glanceable, that's probably what's going to catch people. If somebody sees something in your pamphlet that like really gets them, that's what's going to be cool. Singlin says, I've not made a constitution yet. Raz says, mine took inspiration from the U.S. Hey, congrats, Raz. Rich says, I recommend you get to doing that, Singlin. Connor says, our new one will have around 15 articles. Connor, congrats. It says, not including sub-articles. Congrats, but be careful. Ari hitting up with some good advice. Ari said, hey everyone, if you want to boost watch time hours but is going to sleep, mute your device, then turn off your monitor on your PC, then let the videos play overnight. I agree with that, and that does mean a lot. Like, Ari, if you've been doing that, thank you so much. That is a huge help to us to help us with watch time. Also, anyone else who wants to do that, who feels like they can do that, please do that. It helps us a ton. Again, we just have to reach 4,000 watch time hours one time to be able to get ourselves to monetization. If you've ever watched one of our videos, like I have on other people's devices, and seen that there are ads on our videos, we don't make any money from that. YouTube just takes our money. They just advertise for us, know that people will watch the videos, take the money from the ads, and don't give us a single cent. And we won't get a single cent until we hit that 4,000 watch time hours. So you guys helping us out, liking the videos, subscribing, doing all that stuff, and sitting here through these videos, sitting here to watch the live streams, and even, if you have to go to bed, if you have to do something else, putting it on mute, doing whatever you can, like Ari said, mute your device, turn off your device monitor if you're going to bed, and let the videos play overnight. That is a huge help to us to be able to get to watch time, and then we can start to make money that YouTube's already making off of our backs. So it would mean a lot, and it helps us to grow the micronational community and stop having the micronational community be taken advantage of in situations like that. People love to use small communities, like tight-knit fandoms, to get stuff out of them, to sell them stuff. So it's nice for us to be able to kind of make some money ourselves for a change, especially off of the high-quality content that we produce. Sinklin says, I like to slack off, so I'll do it soon. Very cool, Sinklin. Rich says, preferably put them in a playlist and let it run. Agreed. That would mean a lot. And again, we do have a playlist. We have a number of playlists, but at the same time, if you just wanted to like go through all of it, we do have like you can do like play all videos on the channel, and that's the thing as well. Torrance says, I'm recruiting 1,000 citizens. There's a few important positions to fill. Raz says 1,000. Torrance says, yes, Raz, 1,000 of a total of 25,000. Congrats, Torrance. I believe in you. I think you'll do well. The only thing that I'm concerned about is, again, if you grow too quickly, it will be concerning. There are a lot of issues you can run into, and if you don't have enough resources to provide for people, you'll gain 500 and lose you won't lose 600, but you'll lose 450 of them, and then you'll be like, oh no, I gained so many people, we were doing so well, now it looks like we're doing terribly and everything's falling apart, even if it's just that people got bored and they left. So really, I think retention of good citizens, people who are going to represent you the way that you want to, is better than just getting numbers. Like you're saying, you want to get 1,000 citizens, but are the first 1,000 people or the first 10,000 people even that you get gonna be good enough to have 1,000 high quality citizens who are all helping you develop? Most micronations don't have 1,000 high quality citizens. They may have 1,000 citizens that they're like, having support them in some way monetarily or whatever, but that doesn't mean those people are gonna support them and come out and like spend the week building stuff with them. That doesn't mean those people are gonna like vouch for them to their governments to support them. You know what I mean? You really need people who are gonna be your ride or dies. You need people who are going to be your support system over just having the numbers. Robert says, I don't agree with that defender of the Aryan state or anything. Agreed, that sounds like some weird racist stuff and sounds absolutely disgusting. I would tell your friend not to do that because that's a good way to get beat up. Like that's a good way. I'm not saying anybody beat him up, but that's a good way to get beat up. That's racist. That's horrible. Your friend should feel disgusted about that. I hope in the future, looking back on that, they do feel disgusted about that. Ari says, ooh, at Torrance, make sure the new workers are trusted. 100%, Ari. That's what I was saying. Like, again, you want people to support you. You want to have these big numbers. It's a way to, like, flex clout. Again, micronations love to talk about citizens. They love to say, I have a ton of citizens. This means my micronation's so legit because look at how many people not only recognize our nation as a nation, but also say that they're actively a part of it. They're citizens. They're our big people. They're our supporters. They're our ride or dies. But are they really? Are those 1,000 people really going to help you? Are those 1,000 people really going to be having your back? Torrance says citizens, not workers. And I came up with an application process. I would love to hear about your application process, Torrance. Again, 1,000 citizens is like a crazy goal, but an admirable one. I hope you get it. As well, we have 13 viewers right now and 9 likes. Thank you guys so much. And again, please like the video if you haven't liked it already. It will help us to reach monetization and to get more people in the chat like you guys already are. Our most liked videos during live streams are the ones where we have the highest peak viewers. And that, of course, will help us to get our 4,000 watch time hours. Again, tonight, like I said, if we have 10 viewers through the rest of the stream, we can probably hit close to 25 watch time hours if we keep going for, another hour and a half, 2 hours. And if we do that, we can get really, really close to monetization very soon. So, again, we're edging up on 3,700 watch time hours right now. If we can get to 3,800, then we only have 200 left to go. We are slowly knocking those watch time hours, and we will get it. Raz says, that's a lot of citizens. Torrance says, there's nothing wrong with defending an Aryan state. Would there be a problem if black people wanted to defend a free black state? Depending, yeah. Depending on the situation, yes, 100%. Dividing anything by race is a problem. To say we want like a 100% separated like racial state, yes it is, yes. Fake name says, interesting historical fact, Hitler recognized the Persian Iranians as Aryans due to them being actual descendants of Aryans, an ancient long extinct group. Agreed. It's weird to use that again, but that's the thing. You're connecting to people like Hitler. Like I wouldn't be trusting those as your sources or references. Torrance says, Raz, a lot of people are looking for a backup plan. This all has to be legit. Numbers matter. Money talks. Agreed. But again, I wouldn't just be taking checks as people's support. You know what I mean? People support you enough to get you money, and that's great. If you have money, you have the ability to do stuff. Like you said, money talks. But money doesn't get you everything. And having people who are going to be there, even when things get tough, even when the money runs out, even when people are actively pushing back for you, against you, people who will stand there and defend you till the end are going to be the people that you want. That's the 1,000 citizens you want. You don't want 1,000 citizens who will come, who will leave as soon as things get tough. Robert says, yeah, well, he literally bars blacks from coming, Torrance. Yeah, that's horrible. That's super racist. That's disgusting. Torrance says, LOL, then why would I want to be there? Sounds boring. Yeah, it's super racist, Robert. I don't know why that's your friend. Like, I straight up wouldn't be friends with that person. That's horrible. Sinklin says, I can send a link here. Very cool. I don't think the links will work though, Sinklin. Again, like a advertising thing. Torrance says, my point, Robert, there's nothing wrong with nationalism. Racism, there is a huge problem with racism, especially race-based nationalism. Yes, absolutely. There is definitely a problem with that. Sinklin says, but in basics, it's just a quick announcement summarizing our reason of independence and our government system. Very cool. Fake Name says, I won't actually declare independence until I have land. Citizens, please don't step on those things.
Will they break?
Yes, they will. I need them. Very important. Fake Name says, I won't actually declare independence until I have land, citizens, fully staffed government, and stable income. That's respectable. I appreciate it. Torrance says, my current draft is around 30 pages. I still have a few more to add. Very cool. Congratulations, Torrance. Fake Name says, however, I know I'm still the cultural emperor of the Costnarians. Very cool, Fake Name. And that's, I think that's interesting when you, like, is that the official title that you've declared in your constitution, or how does that work? Robert said, nothing wrong with it, but he's actively pushing for the extermination methods. He wants cleaning, not nationalism, Taurus. Robert, you're saying there's nothing wrong with it. There's huge amounts wrong with that. Robert, this is like really gross. Like, I really don't support this at all. I think you should not be supporting that friend at all. I don't know why that's a friend at that point. Like, that's a person who wants to hurt other people. Robert, I would get far away from that person. Lightman says, I'm 1 hour and 20 minutes early. Hey, thank you very much, Lightman. It's good to see you, and thank you for supporting the stream. Again, it's a huge help to us. You guys are actively helping us to keep the stream up and to continue growing it. So, again, please give it a like to get more people hanging out with us, and so we can show them more of the projects that we're doing. I want to keep reading these comments real quick, and then I'm going to get back to showing you guys the project stuff. Torrance says, yeah, that's different, Robert. Back out. Agreed. Whitewind says, hi. Ben says, hi, AP. Hey, Ben, I missed you. It's good to see you. How are you? Again, if you, I'm telling everybody this because we're trying to grow the watch time. We're trying to grow stuff. Please like the video if you can. Ari says, hi again, Whitewind. Long time no see. Agreed. How are you, Whitewind? Tell us what you're up to. We've been talking about projects in Eternia. We've been talking about what Eternia is doing to grow. And we've been talking about people's constitutions and the stuff that they've been doing to try and grow their nations. Whitewind says, agreed, long time. Ari says, everyone, make sure to like the stream. Absolutely. Thank you, Ari. Ari is like one of our biggest supporters, and I really appreciate it. Ari isn't even a part of Eternia, but definitely a part of like supporting us and helping us to grow. Ari, I definitely appreciate you and all the stuff that you're doing for your own interest in micronationalism, but it means a lot that you're a part of like a really supportive niche in this community. There are plenty of people who are super wonderful in this community, super supportive of all micronations. I hope that I can consider myself among them. I want to try and push for micronational development and growth and education. At the same time, I know there are people who are really, really rough in this community and who are really hurtful and negative and try to shut people down. So I am so thankful that a lot of you here are wonderful, supportive, kind-hearted people. Manu said hi. Hey, Manu, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Again, as Ari said earlier, like the stream. It'll help us to keep growing and reach those watch time hours. Again, now we hit 3,700 the other day. Now we're at like 3,691 because I think a big stream passed a year ago that dropped us down a little bit. But now we're trying to get back to over 3,700. We're trying to push for that 3,800 and get to 200 near watch time. Eventually, as we get closer and closer, I want to do bigger and bigger streams that we can hype up with like huge announcements and huge stuff, so that way we can just blow through that 4,000 watch time hours. And once we do, we'll start monetization, so all of those videos that we've been losing money on because people are running ads on our videos even though we don't get a dime of it, will finally start to help us out. Fake name says tomorrow and the day after I won't be able to watch streams as I'll be at a lake with my family and no reception. Fake name, I completely understand that. I was just taking a slight hiatus myself, doing stuff with Tiffany's family, and we were at the exact same situation. We went kayaking. We didn't have any reception for like 3 days, so I wasn't able to stream for like 3 days, and so it was rough. Ari says it has Whitewind. Bessarabia says I discovered this micronation for some minutes, and you are pretty cool. Thank you very much, Bessarabia. It means a lot. I hope you continue to watch, and I hope you continue to enjoy our content. Again, we're trying to do things not only to develop our micronation on social media and to explain to people what we're doing and to get supporters online, but we're also trying to do things like this that actually help to develop us and help to make us bigger and better and help to improve our economy. Again, this is a huge transformer which we are going to be improving to make an electric arc furnace. So this is something that is starting as a project in the works, but we're a good way through, and hopefully soon we should see some larger production out of it. So again, this thing will be able to produce pounds and pounds of metal and help us to really ramp up production from what we've been doing. So expansion to come. Let's see. Torrance says, thank you for the advice, AP, always. Torrance says, thank you for the feedback and great chat. Agreed. I'm glad you've been enjoying the chat, Torrance. That's one of the things that, again, I really love about these streams. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, a lot of the time, if you're looking to grow as a micronationalist, you're able to come here and, one, talk to other micronations, potentially connect with them, but as well, you're able to get to the point where you are starting to like take advice from these people and give advice to newcomers. It's such a like healthy thing to see in the community, and I really love it. When our community first started out, there were a ton of trolls in the chat. There were a ton of people who either didn't care at all about micronationalism or people who did care about micronationalism but were like really opinionated on their things right and everybody else's was wrong. And if you were in the chat and they didn't like what you stood for, they were going to like hate on you and get in fights, and people just didn't like being in the chat sometimes. So I'm so thankful that you guys are so wonderful and so helping and so kind. It means a lot. Robert says, there's something called dead subscribers. Absolutely. And that's something that's like really difficult. And that's something that, again, I kind of like warn about. Again, you can make like really high quality content, but have this issue where you don't get a ton of viewership. So yeah, you're 100% right, Robert. Benjamin says low and slow is the best stage. 100% agree. And then Robert said basically the same thing. If you have a 300,000 subs but you only get 100,000 views a video, you got dead subs. Agreed, 100%. And also that can depend. Like sometimes you just a video doesn't do well, but you wanted to make it, so you made it anyway. Sometimes the algorithm doesn't help with stuff. But agreed, a lot of the time you should be trying to get a certain amount of views per video. Torrance says, Benjamin, we don't have much time. With what? Torrance? Robert says, quite a few PewDiePie subs are dead. Yeah, but again, that also sometimes just happens because people will create a YouTube account and then they'll stop using it and then they'll just do other stuff. So like, yeah, that just exists. Sometimes it's literally dead subscribers. Like you're talking about dead subscribers. Sometimes it's literally like people who have created an account and died and like no longer are living. So of course they wouldn't continue watching. It happens. Connor says, AP, you skipped my comment on Connor Manislin's trade with Galpia. Did I though, Connor? Like can you repost it? Because I just might not have seen it. Like where? The last one that I've seen that you had is Connor Hetner saying, our new one will have around 15 articles, not including sub-articles. So if you posted something after that, I'm sorry, it's not in my chat. Like, sometimes people will hit me up with stuff like that. I read one after the other, so I'm sorry about that. The last one, I see at 8:31, you have a message retracted, and then your next one is AP, you skipped my comment on Connor Manislin's trade with Gapla. Congratulations. Also, what kind of trade are you doing? Let me know. Robert says, a prime example of dead subs would be Gillian Perkins, a vlogger with 600,000 subs and 50,000 average views on a video. Again, though, sometimes that just happens. Also, if you're making interesting content that you like, but maybe, isn't right for your subs or whatever, that's fine too. Like, I don't know that that's... it's weird because yeah, I get you, but at the same time, I feel like there are multiple factors that go into that. Raspberry says Hitler also banned the cooking of lobsters live. Interesting. Whiteman says, I have an idea for an alliance though. Bum bum bum. Trade. You send us a metal, like metal rebar, and we make knives slash swords from it and give it to you for an alliance. That's very cool. I definitely like the concept. That sounds like fun for sure. Robert says, quite frankly, some creators said they should be able to purge dead subs. Makes sense. Robert says Hitler also defended animal rights. Why are you guys hyping Hitler? Hitler's also like gross and a murderer, like a mass murderer. I guess you guys are just trying to point out the juxtaposition, but it's still wild. Good to see everybody. We had 13 viewers per second. We're down to 12, but still, if you guys could give us a like, it would help out. Connor says, fake name, yes, but Hitler didn't recognize other Indo-Aryans or Indo-Iranian groups as Aryans. Interesting. These are such weird things. We're going to stop talking about Nazis. This is gross. Benjamin says, we are going moneyless. Who's going moneyless, Ben? What's happening? Robert says, we're humanizing evil. Robert says, no, but seriously, we should stop this. We're humanizing evil. Yeah, agreed. It's gross. Sinklin says, that's fair. I'm in the Discord, so if anyone wants to see it and they want to see it, I'll send it. In DMs, Automod got me. Yeah, sorry about that, Sinklin. I would appreciate it. Thank you for being in our Discord. Again, advertising stuff. It would mean a lot if you hit it up in people's DMs. Whitewind says, hey guys, let's slow down on chatting so AP can catch up. Please and thank you. Let's not have them overwhelmed with the comments. I will say though, Sinkland, if you do want to advertise on our server, we do have the ability to do that. If you want to hit us up for $5 a month on our Patreon, you can get a foreign dignitaries license. If you get a foreign dignitaries license, you are able to advertise on our Discord channel, as well as connect directly with us and a lot of other nations that we're connected with for more serious alliances, connect to trade, things like that. So if you're interested in that, hit us up at patreon.com/the EOA. Whiteman says, hey guys, let's slow down so we can catch up with chat. Robert says, Jack said he wants me to be Secretary of American Affairs, like talk to mayors and stuff on his behalf, but I said no, and then continues. I'm glad you said no. Again, it sounds like a weird, like racist hate group. I wouldn't be supportive of that. Sinklin says, sorry, I'm just really interested in micronationalism, so I get carried away when I talk to others feeling the same. No, that's perfectly fine. I appreciate you, Sinklin. Ari says, I gotta go. I'll do the thing I said earlier. Thank you, Ari. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Ari said she's gonna leave. He or she, I'm not sure, is gonna leave, but they're gonna keep they're just gonna like keep the video running. They're just gonna take their monitor and turn it off, and like put it, turn the monitor off, put it on mute, and go to sleep. But they're gonna like let it keep playing. So that means a ton. I really appreciate it. Fake name says, that is the English version of my title, and I use it in the org chart. We show new citizens. Plus, the citizen's oath says in English, and I will pledge loyalty to the Emperor and the Empire. Very cool. That's cool. Raspberry says, I'm sorry, they want to separate from the U.S.? That's true. Who said that, I guess? Percol says, see you guys. Nice chatting to you all. See you, Percol. Again, if you can, do the thing that Ari said, where you like, you keep it running, but just like mute it and stuff. It would help our watch time a ton. Robert says, yes, they do want to leave. Your like weird racist friend wants to leave. That's not good. I've talked about this before on the channel, but I think, secession isn't the right way for micronationalists to go. If you're talking about like leaving the U.S. or whatever, taking your land and going, what you're essentially saying is you're going to take land that existed as a part of a nation before you existed and came up with this idea to take it, and you're going to take it. And you're going to try and separate it from people who may have a better use for it, and again, who had uses for it before you existed. So, I think there's something that's kind of selfish about the idea of secession, and something that ultimately hurts people. Again, in the U.S., we have a good bit of experience with that with the Civil War, and it was an absolute shame. It was, again, the most amount of Americans dying in a war. It was brutal, and it's something that should not be repeated. So that being the case, secession I don't think is the right move. You can use your land and territories in other countries to do a lot of good and to help your nation, and legitimately to be territories of your nation. But at the same time, trying to secede it, trying to take it from another nation, is not the appropriate response. I think trying to go about Tiffany's actively killing these eyebrows. Tiffany, she's getting it. She's getting it. Getting it in the stream. Wait, no, come back. I love you. Ah, she's getting it in the stream. Oh, I love you. Chin kisses. Ugh, I'm going on a roller coaster ride. Everybody's gonna hate this. They're gonna throw up. I'm gonna throw up. uh, um, uh, so yeah, Robert, I definitely think secession is the wrong way to go. Sinklin says, talk to you later, Prakal. It's nice talking to you. Absolutely, we appreciate you, Prakal. Robert says, wait, no. Raz says, that is constitutionally illegal. Agreed, Raz. The Civil War made that constitutionally illegal. And again, really gross. People shouldn't be doing it. Whiteman says, Eternia, basing off what you said, should we talk about some micronational wars that are going on in the northern USA? Micronational wars kind of gross. What do you mean with micronational war? And also, what did I say? I'm curious. Robert says, came off wrong. I meant supporting Nazis. Oh, gross. Raspberry says Supreme Court. Robert says Supreme Court. Torrance says, I think it's important micronations do not present themselves as secession movement. I 100% agree, Torrance. I think that can be something that micronations are conflated with, and they're very, very different. Micronations should not present themselves as secession movement because it, yeah, 100% is like a treasonous act. It's something that's dangerous, and it's also something that just like hurts people. You know what I mean? If you've been building up like a country for hundreds or thousands of years, and it's something that's culturally connected to the identity of all of your people in that country, and then you decide, yeah, we're just gonna take this. That's so selfish. That's so ridiculous. You 100% should not be trying secession. It's horrible. Um, um, Raspberry says, no, I meant to say Supreme Court after U.S. Got you. Raz says treason is punishable by death. Agreed. Ryan says evil humans are humans. Humanizing humans is a human thing. Agreed, but still. Sinklin says ratio. Yeah, Sinklin. We're trying to get that ratio up. Right now we're at 9 viewers, 11 likes. If we could get those viewer numbers up to 11 viewers, 11 likes, we'd be killing the game. Manu says, I remember when there was someone who tried to join the stream just to convince us they were the FBI. Yeah, people do stuff like that all the time. It's very silly. Ryan says, chat wasn't hater filled because I just got here. Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you, Ryan. Ryan, are you the hater now, or are you saying that like people will join and hate because you're here? Either way, I appreciate you being here. I've actually, let me know if you guys would want Ryan to stream on the channel. I've hit up Ryan before about like streaming on the channel because I think, Tiff gave me a gummy. He's really knowledgeable on history, military history, political history, political like sociology as well. Ryan's a cool guy and he knows a lot of stuff in specific areas that I lack in. So I can talk about my political opinions and my understandings, but they come from a place of relative ignorance. There's a certain amount that I know, but I know this chat knows a ton of stuff too, and researches things politically constantly. Some of you are people who have political majors or who have gone for political office before and stuff like that. So people who just absolutely heart and soul are all politics or all military history or whatever, all world history. And so you guys know it leaps and bounds more than I do in that regard. So that being the case, if you wanted somebody to kind of match that and who can kind of talk to you on that level, let me know because I'm not sure if Ryan will accept the offer, but I have offered before for Ryan to do a stream with us or to host a stream for us, and I think it would be really good. I think people would really enjoy it. Fake name says, fun Cosnaria, in fact. We in Cosnaria are outraged at the fascist use of ancient symbols, like, for example, the faces. In Cosnaria, we retake these symbols and turn them back into respectable symbols. I would warn against that, Cosnaria. We had this talk with Richard Taylor, one of our citizens, a while back. Thank you, Chris. We had a conversation about this a while back with Richard Taylor. Richard Taylor is one of our citizens, and he commented one time saying, I don't understand why the term patriot has been co opted by like super extreme right wing groups. And he's like, I don't like that. Like, I want to be able to use the term patriot to refer to myself, but I don't want to be, associated with all these like crazy right wing groups. And for most people, I immediately if someone says they're patriotic or a patriot associate it with like extremism, but there are some people who do, and so that's what I would say is a warning to you. You're saying that you're going to like take these symbols which are now like notorious for being connected to hate groups, and you're going to try and repurpose them. But the problem is that since they are already infamous, since there are already so many people who identify them as hate symbols, if you now start to present yourself a new relatively small group with these hate symbols, first off, people aren't going to stop looking at them as hate symbols. They will continue to look at them as hate symbols. And two, they will then start to accidentally conflate your thing as a hate group. So then they're going to be like, here's the list of all the hate groups, and yours is going to come up just because you have that symbol. So I understand you're trying to do something brave by like taking the symbol and repurposing it, but people are connecting to that symbol because there was a point in history where that symbol was incredibly hateful. So if you don't want to be associated with those hate groups, I would say don't try to co-opt and like change the symbol. One, because you may not become famous enough to do that to any large effect. And even if you did, even if you were like 100 times or 1,000 times more famous than any of those groups that made it a hate symbol, the infamy of the hate, the awful acts that happened, still just keep it in people's mind and may make people have a sour taste in their mouth about your nation or what you're pursuing simply because you decided to take that symbol on. I would say create your own symbols. I would say do something that is completely different and unique because that is what people will remember you by. If they can associate your thing with hate groups by the connection of a symbol, even if it's not meant in the same way or used for the same purpose, people will still do it and they'll still say, look, they're a hate group because they have this symbol, even if you're not. So be very careful, and I would not recommend that as a good strategy. Whiteman says, yes, AP, I do remember those streams. The first stream I joined of yours, I was actually watching it and didn't chat at all, and now I'm one of the number one chatters in your streams. I do believe I am one of the most productive micronations because I've been having my citizens subscribe to Whiteman. Sorry, I mean to Eternia. That means a lot. I really appreciate that. The more that you guys can get people to subscribe and to support us, it really helps us to develop. Every single day that I'm out here doing stuff, that I'm trying to make stuff, that I'm trying to produce more content for you guys. Again, as well, if you have people on like Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, we're on all those too. So if you can help people to promote us that way, it helps as well. But plugging aside, it really does help. The more that we can get people to watch these streams, the more that we can get people to hang out with us and learn stuff with us, the more that it teaches me about what the micronational community is and how it's growing, and more importantly, it helps us because it helps to give active updates and development that people can follow along with. You guys not only can, see some of the higher quality content that we make, but more importantly, you can see what we're doing in real time to learn from it. We can actually put stuff out that's beneficial to the community in a long-term sense that isn't just giving you like, oh, here's my top 5 whatever, or oh, here's a quick tutorial that leaves out like 30 steps. No, this is something that really goes through and gives you the nitty-gritty day-by-day details of how we're growing Aeternia. So if you're somebody who's really passionate about trying to develop a micronation, you can just follow these streams and you're actively seeing day-by-day clips of how we're doing it. Singlin says, also guys, I'll be going to Arizona soon. Do you think it would be fair if I claim the house I'll be living in for a while as part of our nation so we can continue operations? If it's a place that you or somebody that you supports your nation owns outright, then yes. Or like rents legally, like if your name or someone else that supports your nation's name is on the contract, then yes, but it's not like a super stable thing. So I would say ideally no, but you can get away with it, I guess. It depends on what degree of effect you're trying to pull off. Whitewind says, and one of the most supportive micronations because I have been, yeah. Connor says, this was my message about Cotter Manisland and Gapla. Cotter Manisland signed a trade deal with the Federated States of Gapla. They made us a bank bot, and we made them new flags. Hey, very cool. Congratulations. Robert says, I support Cusnaria. Hey, very cool. Raz says, I'm going to go. Might come back. Don't know. I appreciate it, Raz. Thank you very much. Let me know if you do. And also, if you can, you could always keep the stream like running in the background if you wanted to, because it would help us a lot with those watch. Ryan retracted his message. Torrance says, have a good evening, Raz. Navak says, hi, Emperor AP. How are you doing? Hey, Navak. It's good to see you as always. We're doing well. Again, I was updating people on our projects like this. This is our electric arc furnace, which for the longest time we had a stream showing the removal of those plates, which are plates that went in between these plates. So we had to spend a long, long time, a lot of man hours, chiseling these things out to be able to separate this iron core. Now that we have this iron core separated, we have removed these large windings, these copper windings, so that way we can rewind the transformer, repurpose these copper windings to rewind the transformer to our specifications, put all of those plates back onto the transformer, seal it all up again with some adhesive, and then we will have our very own large scale, huge power output electrical arc furnace. We have made a smaller, an electrical arc furnace that's about this big and that tall, with a couple transformers that outputs a few ounces of metal at a time, like, pieces maybe about that big of anything from steel to iron to copper to, silver and gold and stuff like that. It can do it all. This will be the same thing, but we'll be able to output pounds and pounds of metal. So that will be a huge difference. And I'll be super, super excited to show you guys when it gets finished, kind of what the larger benefit of that is. This is one of Aeternia's largest projects to date, and something that I'm super excited to be showing off to you guys. Again, work in progress, but this today's stream was supposed to be an update and one that's going to help us out a lot. Tiffany's actively grabbing on me and yanking on me and pulling and stuff, so I'm here trying to fight her off while I show you guys this. Just know these streams are a fight for survival for you guys, but to get you guys this high quality content. But I appreciate you, Tiff. Tiff said, "Blah." Real quick, I'm gonna read a couple. Got Yep, that's true. I'm getting into my master's for physics. I'm super hyped. Benjamin said Unity is going moneyless. Hey, congrats. So you're just not gonna have a money at all. That's awesome. White one says Hitler came second. Gross. Lanu says so he. Okay, we're gonna stop talking about that. Robert says White Wind, Northern U.S. Didn't the Great Minnesota Wars end like 2 or 3 years ago? Is that a micronational war thing? Benjamin says like free store, swap shop, and giveaway store. Hey, very cool. Congrats. I will say under U.S. law, if you're if you live in the U.S., you will still have to pay taxes on trades. Big Name says, an evil human is much scarier than an evil monster because it reminds us any person can become evil. That knowledge keeps us aware. Agreed, 100%. Squans joined us. Squans, what's up? It seems like you're just popping in and out, but if you're here to stay, it's good to see you. As always, with the Empire of Aeternia. Haven't seen you before, so if you don't know, we are a micronation, and we're trying to change the world. We're trying to develop a culture, a community, and a group of people who really want to push forward with goals that help to transform the way that we live and help us to improve through the use of technology and innovation. Again, I'm showing off right now the work in progress that is our electrical arc furnace, our big version that's going to output pounds of metal and improve our our production output by probably like 10 times or more. So I'm super excited, and I can't wait to show that off to you guys. Right now, I'm going to be walking around so that I can show you guys real quick. I'm going to be sneaky about it. I want to show you guys our excuse me. I want to be able to show you guys our homemade, oh goodness, solar panel. But I'm not sure where it is at the moment. I thought it was going to be right here, but it is not. As well, if you guys are wondering where I get some of my electronic components and stuff like that, I will show you. I salvage them. I straight up salvage them. This is a board from a TV. This is something that I will take apart regularly. There's plenty of capacitors, transformers, resistors, stuff like that in here that can be used regularly. There's even some little integrated circuit chips here that can be used sometimes. You got MOSFETs, stuff like that. All of this good stuff, piezoelectric crystals, 555 timer. All of these things that can be used, salvaged, and made into new projects. So, if you are interested in electronics, you want to get into that. Starting with salvaging stuff is a great way to get things for free, and is also a great way to learn about electronics. So, just thought I'd kind of show that off and explain a little bit about that. Let me see. Oh goodness, I want to find our thing so bad. I'm gonna see if I can sneak over and ask Tiff where it is. Everybody said it's Tiff. Yeah, it is. It is. It's the Tiff girl. She was there for a minute, and then I walked away, and then there she is again. Let me see. There's a ton of comments. Uh, Fake Name says the reason we're repurposing symbols instead of making new symbols is because Cusnarian culture is Nova Roman, New Roman culture. We have a right to those symbols. Sure, but if they're hate symbols, then I definitely wouldn't support them. Um, Benjamin says also open access agreements. Very cool. Sinklin says I'm back. Hey, it's good to see you, Sinklin. Thank you so much for supporting us. And once again, if you can, try to leave the stream running if you head out, just because it would help us with watch time. If you can't, I always understand that, but it would mean a lot. Let me see. I'm gonna switch it back to my face. You guys are gonna see close-ups of my face while I try and run to see if I can't find our other solar panels. Tiff might know where it is. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Hey Tiff. Oh, you okay?
No, I burned my finger in hot water.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tiff is making some ramen noodles. Tiff, do you happen to know where our the little DIY solar panel is? I thought it might have been in the room, but it wasn't in the room. I'm gonna go check back in here. I'm going back in the other room to check. We have 11 viewers, 12 likes. If you guys could like the video, it would help a ton. But real quick, I'm gonna see if I can't find you guys the solar panel. Is it here? It's not here. I'm really sad. Oh goodness. Okay. Maybe it's outside. Goodness. I thought I knew where it was. I thought I was gonna have it in my bag. I don't have it. So now I'm trying to figure out exactly where I need to go to pull stuff together. This will give me an opportunity though to show you guys some other cool stuff that I've been working on for Eternia. So if you'll give me 1 second, I'm gonna be walking outside. You guys will have to kind of follow along so I can get there. But excuse me, everybody. We have an on-the-move stream tonight. That's where I'm going next. Excuse me, Mr. Brian. Okay, we're here. We're not here yet, but we're almost here. We're continuing to go. We're continuing to move. We're continuing to zoom. We're continuing to get it. We're continuing to flip it. We're almost there. Leading up the stairs. And problem. Entirely new problem. Okay. We got an entirely new problem. It was locked. Didn't think it would be locked. It's never locked. Now it's locked. Give me just 1 second, you guys.